Roasting coffee with AI? Let's go. So guys, I asked AI how to roast coffee and then asked again and put in all these variables. And this is what it came up with. Is it any good? Let's find out. Hey guys, I'm Mike. Welcome to East Bay RE Coffee. Of course, many of you know this, some of you don't, but my background is in Silicon Valley technology. Of course, my wife worked in healthcare. We came together over our love of coffee and started our county's first specialty coffee shop and first specialty coffee company. Now, recently we got a roaster in-house here in the coffee house, and I've been trying all different things. You know, my background is to experiment. Don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Fail fast, learn, move on, and try things. Push the envelope. That's just how I'm wired. I'm different than a lot of these guys and ladies who roast coffee. Anyway, long story short, I'm up for anything, so I decided why not ask AI what is the best way to roast coffee and roast a fruit-forward flavor of coffee. We're gonna use our Ethiopian natural coffee for this roast. I have it roasted as a medium coffee, and we're gonna see if the fruit-forward method given to me through AI will enhance the fruit flavors. This coffee is grown at elevation between 2,000 and 2,500 meters above sea level. It's a natural process. The tasting notes on this are raspberry, dates, and marshmallow, so it is a kind of fruit-forward coffee. I've had way more fruit-forward ones from Ethiopia though, but this is a nice coffee to see if we get those more fruit-forward notes. We'll compare each coffee side by side. Again, this is a medium roast. We're gonna try it as a medium roast to bring out the fruit flavors. Like I said, I've followed AI, spent about 2 hours asking questions, coming up with roast curves, coming up with the temperature at different intervals within the roast curves, and took a lot of notes, so let's go. First, guys, I'm gonna tell you some insights into what AI actually told me, and it's very useful. You know, when it comes to roasting coffee, you know, I looked around for videos and different things online, and not a lot of people like to share. It's very secretive, very secretive. And then when we got our roaster, I happen to be at the shop a little bit more, and I keep seeing all these coffee shop owners, all these coffee company owners that just happen to be in our own little small town here in Western PA. So that's interesting. It's like you know, we're coming to check it out. All right. Anyway, long story short, there isn't a ton of content out there about coffee roasting, so that's why I like putting it out on YouTube. Again, I'm pretty open. I like sharing what we're doing. Maybe you can do better, build upon this, and everybody wins. All right, guys. So, what did AI actually tell me about roasting coffee, roasting a fruit-forward cup? Here's what I asked it, by the way. What is the best roast curve for bringing out fruit-forward flavors in coffee roasting? And that's kind of was the lead question. Great question, Mike. Fruit-forward coffee roasting usually comes from emphasizing organic acids like malic, citric, tantric, and aromatic compounds while minimizing the development of heavier caramelized roasting notes. Key tips. For fruit-forward cups, don't flatten the rate of rise. Now you have to understand some of these terms are going to be very technical if you're into coffee roasting. If you're a novice, you might not know some of these, but make sure you subscribe because I share a lot of them on our channel, either on how to coffee or this video playlist about roasting coffee. Avoid baking, stalling in the Maillard phase, right? Overdevelopment will flatten the fruit and turn it into caramel. So very, very interesting points. Also notes that high-grown, dense coffee beans, like the Ethiopian ones we have, anything over 1,500 meters, I would consider as a pretty high-grown coffee. These in Ethiopia are some of the highest-grown coffees in the world, approaching 2,500 meters above sea level. High-dense beans can benefit from a bit more heat up front to penetrate the seed. Very interesting insights from AI on how to roast coffee, things about the development time. They even gave me a full roast curve, and I went down and asked it what temperature each specific point. I'm going to show this to you, but the general premise from AI and just the general premise in how to roast coffee fruitier, or to bring out the fruit-forward flavors, is a shorter, fruitier, brings out sweeter flavors. But it depends, of course, on the coffee's origin, destiny, flavor targets, etc. But in short term, sweeter is going to be a little bit of a lighter roast, and it's not going to caramelize or develop as much as a richer coffee would. So, again, I took all these notes, kept asking at different temperatures. AI wants me to do a roast that's going to be around 9 minutes and 18 seconds. I'm going to share with you all the data points in that roast. And then we're going to roast it, and then we're going to compare it side by side, and let's see if those differences actually change the flavor profile.
As you can see here, the roast profile is matching what's actually happening. The temperatures are spot on the intended curve that AI created, and you can see the rate of rise slowly and steadily going down.
Again, before we taste this, this is obviously just my opinion. It's not a scientific experiment, but I'm really curious. I have a pretty good palate. If I will notice any difference, because the temperature degree at different points, was 6, 7, 8, 9, shorter roast cycle. So there were some differences than in the medium roast here, but we shall see. According to everybody at the shop, I really know nothing. So again, take this with a grain of salt. But we'll see if I can notice a difference in the two coffees. So here's the coffee. It looks great. Freshly roasted this morning. It has a nice color. I don't know if the camera does this justice, but it is a light roast, very consistent. It looks perfect. The roast profile made a lot of sense, and the actual temperature followed the roast profile to a T. It was spot on, basically within a degree or two for the duration of the process. The coffee looks great, has a nice aroma to it. It looks like this could be a good coffee by the eyeball test. We'll see. Let's try them out. All right, so here we go. I feel like I need to channel my inner James Hoffmann as I cup coffees or drink coffees. This one is a normal medium roast, Ethiopian natural. This is the AI roast profile, roasted coffee, both roasted on a Bellwether machine. I asked AI to design a fruit-forward roast profile, which the machine followed basically to a T. I'll show you the roast profile in a second to see if this coffee tastes more fruity than this coffee, or what I like. And again, this is my personal preference. I always said before, roasting coffee is a lot easier than you think. Do not be intimidated by it. But we'll see if there is a difference. Let's go. Nice medium roast. You get notes of marshmallow. You get a lot of marshmallow in this coffee. And you get raspberry and some other fruity notes, not pronounced, right? I didn't want to do a super fruity coffee. But Ethiopia is known for their real fruit coffees. If you like berry flavored, you want to go Ethiopian, in my opinion. So here we go with the AI roast. I find this hard to believe. Now, I did not expect much, because we're talking about a 9-degree difference, a little bit of a difference on the duration, a 9-degree difference in various stages of the roast cycle. Same exact coffee. I figured, you taste different as a light roast, as a dark roast, obviously. Medium roast versus basically a medium to light roast, fruit forward profile. Yeah, Elvis has just left the building. This is fruitier by far. You get more notes of raspberry, you get the marshmallow as well. But this AI roasted fruit forward coffee, following its prescribed profile with a couple of moderations and a little bit back and forth between me, is absolutely fruitier. I cannot believe it. I cannot believe it. And it's, to me, a slightly better cup of coffee. So let's look at the profile, because I really want to show you this now. This is quite incredible. So again here, AI took available information and turned it into a fruit-forward roast profile, which is the black line. The blue line, which is mirroring the black line, only differs by a degree or two throughout the duration of this roast, 9-minute and 20-second roast. The blue line is the actual temperature of the beans, so the Bellwether did a great job with this roast profile. All right, the black line here is the prescribed medium roast of this Ethiopian coffee from Bellwether. And you can see the temperature difference at the 4-minute mark. It's 9 degrees hotter.
AI actually wanted to roast this cooler, but I kept saying these are Ethiopian beans, they're a little bit more dense. But it varied throughout the process, right? It is 10 seconds shorter in total duration at 9:18 versus 9:28. But the big gaps come at the 6-minute mark and 7-minute mark, where a medium roast is going to be about 15 degrees hotter in the prescribed coffee roast profile. The AI-generated fruit-forward curve catches up a little bit at the end, where at the 9-minute mark, it's 4:01 compared to 4:07. Now, 15 degrees might sound like a lot or a big difference, but at temperatures around 400 degrees, even a 15-degree difference only represents a 3% difference between the two roast curves at its max. Throughout, the AI roast was cooler than a classic medium roast of this coffee, and again, it ended 10 seconds sooner. So this is quite incredible to me, right? And as a guy who kind of feels like a coffee maverick and always pushing the limit, and I always say that we're one of the most innovative small coffee companies in the world. Certainly in the United States, we're always trying to push the envelope on things, think outside the box, especially given our backgrounds and our passion and love for coffee. I did not expect the difference to be that noticeable. I've done lots of different coffees, roasted them lots of different ways. Like I said, coffee roasting is very approachable. It's not as challenging as you think. Again, we roasted with the Bellwether here, but the variables are pretty much the same. The roast profiles are different, and this roast profile pulled out more fruit flavors. And it kind of makes a lot of logical sense. I thought it'd be maybe very subtle, almost impossible for me to notice, but I noticed right away. As a guy who's roasted so much coffee, this is enlightening in some ways, so that it's that big a difference. So with this particular coffee, it might not be with other coffees. So that is a big caveat here. But this profile certainly brought out more fruit-forward flavors and a cup of coffee that I personally enjoy more. I know everyone has different taste profiles. But very interesting. Love to hear your thoughts in the comments. This has been an awful fun video to do. I just had this idea. And by the way, I should say that the Bellwether is like 86% less carbon emissions than a typical gas roaster. But I did so many AI searches, I probably used like 900 liters of water or something to figure this out. So probably not going to do too much more of that. But anyway, I feel like I had to note that. But hey, if you guys want to try this coffee, we'll put it on our website. It's our Ethiopian. This is coffee that we've roasted now for a long time, so I'm very familiar with the coffee. But this profile definitely ups it from a fruit standpoint, if that is your thing. All right, guys, we'll talk to you soon. If you want to learn more about coffee roasting, coffee, or just love coffee, make sure you subscribe. Again, we'll talk to you soon. Live inspired.